Welcome back, everybody. It's a short video, this, and it's completely different to what I normally put out and down in the workshop and what have you. Is just to lately around here where I live, we've had a lot of burglaries, breaking in for car, and they're all doing it the same way, burning the lock out, prising the handle up, burning the lock out, and then coming in. We've been advised by the local not council, but in liaison with the police and the council, to fit Sash Jammers, or they do fit doors, they're not just for windows, and I thought I'd just show a bit of a video on, and if people's never heard of them, but that is what you call a Sash Jammer, okay, and it swings either that way or it swings that way, okay. That's it. Now I've actually fitted them to my door, and it's just a little bit of insight into how to fit them, and what to look for when you're purchasing these. Now I purchased these, and my door profile, which I'll show you in a minute, is 20. What you do is you actually shut the door. I'll show you in a moment. You shut the door, lock it in the, because we've got PVC doors here, and you actually lock it so it pulls the door flush to, and then you put a straight edge across the face of the door and you measure from the frame to the straight edge. That gives you what thickness you want for that profile there. They do them, I think the only ones I've seen is 22mm and 21 and 20. That's from, because you put actually a little white plug, you can see that goes in there, so that when it swings across your door or your window, it doesn't scratch it, okay. Now when you measure from there to the base, and you do get a plastic shim, which to be fair is okay, but it doesn't do a right lot. It slips off and that, and even with that on, it's about just over a mil. It's nowhere near enough to swing over the thickness of my door. My door's 25mm, so hence I 3D printed some spacers which clip onto that, okay. But it's just a word of one, and your door might not be as thick as mine, but sometimes there's flush mounted ones as well, which means your doors, when they close in, they don't close in on the frame, they close into the frame like a normal door would, so they're flush. So if you put that across as a sash, it's useless. My brother's got the same door where it's flush, so if you fasten that to the door and swing it across, you can put your fingers down, because the frame and the door is flush. It's a composite door. But what I did was I 3D printed a stop here. Well, it's a spacer, it screws on, and it has some caps you push in so you don't see the screws, and that actually swings across onto that, and it gives him it, so it works the same. So just be aware when you're buying these, if you've got a flush mounted door, it's very difficult to put that on and then swing it across, because they'll still open the door and there's like a finger's thickness between. Well, the thickness of that, so just be aware of that. I purchased mine off Amazon. I got 12 for about £11. I've given my brother 4 spacers, and I've used 4 myself, because you only need 2 on a door. All my doors are quite well secured, so my windows, sorry. So, but what I'll do is I'll just take it and show you how to measure what you want, and then see if you can do it without spacers. If you can't, like me, then you, because they don't sell the spacers for these, you either have to look for some that fits your door profile. But I was fortunate, I got the maximum, but I ended up with a 4mm spacer. I did a 5mm, it was too much, it was too little bit of sloppiness, and a 4mm was spot on. And I'll show you them now. So I'll take you to the door and I'll show you how they fit and how to measure them, okay. Right, here we are at my door. Okay, you see how it's fit to the frame, but you've got the thickness of the actual door here, which, and from there to the surface of that is 25 mil. So you can see the 3D printed spaces I put underneath it. They're pretty good, and I've one down there as well. And when you unlock that door, they are pretty firm, as you can see. I'm pulling on that, and I'm pulling quite, so it's quite firm. It's another deterrent. Okay, so you've little white plugs that you fit in once you put the screws in, but because I have a spacer in there, the screws that you get with it are not long enough. I had to get some larger screws. I just piloted, put a small hole in first, and then put the screw in. It marked it from the spacer, and it worked a treat. And as you can see, that swings across. If you don't get the right height, what happens is, if it's too far down, when you swing that across, you'll hit the side here, and it'll force this over, which is not what you want. It's putting strain on the screws. Okay, and that's it. It's simple fit. I'll show you how to measure them. But you can, I'm just using a bookmark, so you can, it doesn't matter what you want. So you put a straight edge, let me get in shot. You put a straight edge across there, and then where my finger is, you actually measure from that surface to the straight edge, and it gives me, you can just see where my finger is, from that surface to the edge of the straight edge is 25 mil. And then if you can buy the appropriate ones, fine. I couldn't find any at 25 mil. But just gauge your door first before you purchase them, because you can get different sizes. Okay, but that's them fit, and I fit them on every door, and it's a little bit more security. It's not if somebody wants to get in your house or get in your house. There's only a certain amount you can do, but every little bit helps, and we were advised to put them on. Plus your insurance company, they'll ask, if you have a break-in, did you have any other security than the lock? Did you have an alarm? Do you have any cameras up? Do you have Sash Jammers on, or door jams? They ask. So when you've done everything you can, there's no standing from under, is there? So that's it. Just a simple one. Be aware, it's quite prevalent now, is burning the locks out. So, well, that's ending to the video. It's just, you know, showing you something. You can get 4 of these for about £5 something, but I bought 12 because I knew my brother needed some and my son needs some, so we shared them out. You can put more on a door, but I don't think there's any need to put more than 2 on. One at the bottom, one at the top. I've put mine round on for the back door. I had to raise it up a little bit because of the nature of the frame. You couldn't get one of these in, so I had to put it up a little bit higher. But majority of the time, about a foot from the bottom and a foot from the top, it'll suffice. But yeah, good. I'd advise anybody to put them on, but just as I said, just measure your door, gauge your door first for the thickness, and if you've got flush mounted doors, you're going to have to find somewhere putting a spacer on the other side to swing them across. Okay, whether there is anything out there for flush mounted doors, I don't know, there might be. If anybody does find that, please message me in comments and let me know what you use for a flush mounted door, if there is any, and I'll pass that on. So okay, just a short video. As I always say, please like and subscribe. Let me know anything, if you've got any comments, as well as my other videos. I answer everybody. I spend time in looking and answering and trying to, and if anybody wants a video doing that, for anything that associates with my videos, please let me know, and I'll you know, I'll try and do one. And I've just got my, while we're on the subject, I've just got my diamond drag bit. You can see that it's got a diamond tip on. I can't see it, but it's there. And that's the next project. I want to do some engraving with that. I'm going to try it on some brass on the CNC, so we'll see how that goes. So right, until next time, just be safe and be careful out there. As this video shows, you know, people aren't bothered about what damage they cause to get in your house, or what they take when they come in, or what they do when they come in. So please be safe out there. Bye for now. Bye.